Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Puck My Life podcast. I'm your host, Tyler, and with my co-host, Mark.
Hey, guys.
So, Mark, you got a little bit of news for us tonight?
I found out actually today that the St. John Sea Dogs won the Memorial Cup against the Hamilton Bulldogs. The score was 6-3 in the championship final.
Oh, wow. So that I thought it would be a little closer than that. And the crazy thing is that so if you don't know how the Memorial Cup works, so they actually take the winner of the QMJHL, the WHL, the OHL, and then wherever the tournament is hosted, that team gets to play too. And it's 4 teams. They play a round robin tournament, and whoever has the 2 best records out of the round robin, then they go and they do a final, and then whoever wins that is the Memorial Cup winner, which I thought was really cool that it was St. John's who didn't even win their conference, and they won the whole thing. So, like, I wonder, I'd like to look that up to see how often that actually does happen. Like,
I don't know. The thing that I'm looking at right now, I don't know if they were in it before. Here, let me bring it up on the screen here real quick. Share screen. Now, it says that it's the second time in club history that the Sea Dogs have won it. I'm not seeing anything on there. The second time they have raised it after the first doing so in 2011. See, it doesn't say if they won it in 2011.
Okay.
Or if they won like their series to be able to be in it, or if they hosted it again. Yeah, or if they hosted it that time.
They probably won the Q that year, because I don't know how often that they let a team like that actually host. How often they let them host, but I would probably think that it's not too often with how many teams there are, and there's the 3 leagues. I would think that it would be pretty rare that you do that. I don't know how often, if they do it as just like a draw, or they like the Olympics where you have to do a bid for it. I don't really know, but
I wonder, or they could base it off from like just seating or like venue. We'll have to look into that.
Maybe I know there's quite a few. Like Hamilton's actually got a really good size arena. I know London does, from pictures I've seen and stuff like that. So yeah, it could be something like that. It didn't look like the stands were like completely packed. I would have liked to have really gone if given the opportunity for it, but it was out in New Brunswick is where it was. So with everything going on, it would have took a while to get there and probably been pretty expensive. And I'm not sure what they charged for the games. If anybody who's listening, if you know kind of what they were charging for those, it didn't look like they were sellout crowds. So I'd just be kind of curious as to see that. So, well, anyway, so tonight we are going to go over our top 5 FPHL and ECHL teams that we would like to see in those respective leagues. The FPHL is the Federal Prospect Hockey League, and the ECHL is the East Coast Hockey League. So Mark is going to get us started off with his top 5 teams. And I believe the ECHL, you're going to start with your ECHL picks?
I'll start with the FPHL.
All right, he's going with the FPHL. Take it away, Mark.
All right, so as number 1, I have Motor City Rockers. That's only because they're close. They're a new team. I don't know any players on their team, but they're number 1 just because they're close. And then I got Port Huron, also because they're close. Me and you really didn't even know about the FPHL until recently when Motor City Rockers popped up on one of my socials, and then I kind of just looked into it more from there. But throughout like seeing it on Facebook or whatnot, Danbury seemed to pop up a lot, so they must have a decent team out there, or just a good audience just to pop up a lot.
Well, I think they were actually in a different league. Like, I want to say they were in like the NAHL or USHL or something like that. I feel like I seen them listed as in a different league on Sports Leagues maps at some time. And we've talked about this before, that some of these teams they've jumped from different leagues depending on what they need to do to move things around. But I'm just looking at the logo of the Motor City Rockers. Did you notice something about the logo? There's one little detail.
With the guitar?
No, look at his headband. His headband
Oh.
has the Upper and Lower Peninsula of Michigan, which we're from, in the headband, and I didn't even know that.
Huh.
Like that was I thought it was
didn't
just
even
like
see that. I
a
see
glare thing, and I'm like, wait, is that what I think it is?
I see the
That's
hockey
really
stick.
cool. Yep, the bass guitar turning into a hockey stick. That's kind of neat.
But that's why I have those ones on there. And then, all honesty, I thought the logos were cool for Danville and Delaware. I like Delaware's logo a lot.
Thunder.
It's hardy.
Yeah, that's cool. I do like that, and we'll be talking more about Danbury because we notice that in its part of the country there is a lot of hockey to see. Over there for sure.
We'll bring them up quite a bit.
Yeah, so keep checking back with us. At some point next season, you will see us go to a Motor City Rockers and a Port Huron Prowlers game at least of this league next year.
And my opinion honestly might change for some of these teams. Like I might even bring a team on. Like once we go to like a Motor City Rockers or a Prowlers game, they might play a team that I don't even have on here that I would like more than these teams. I mean, like I said, I only have Danville and Delaware on there because I like their logos. I don't know too much about their teams. Didn't know too much about the FPHL. But I think probably once we go to a couple games, maybe see like some hard hits or just some good gameplays, might change my mind on this. We might have to circle back around to this.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at the FPHL site, and are the Daneville Dashers, are they still in the league? Because I'm looking at here. I'll share. Yeah. So here, I'm gonna put this on the other screen for us, so you can look at it. So this is the FPHL site, and well, let me come back to here. Let me share my screen. Yeah. So these are the different teams that I'm seeing. I wonder if they just moved them recently. There's only, as of right now that this is showing, there's 10 teams. There was another team in Battle Creek, Michigan that's no longer around.
The one that I was looking at was a map, and it didn't have Motor City on there. Granted, they just came in this year. But they had that Battle Creek team on there. So my map could have been outdated, but I did know that Battle Creek wasn't on there anymore. So even though they had a pretty cool logo on there, and I can't say as much as for the team. We might have a separate podcast just on that. But
yeah, because I don't know if they moved them to a different league or whatnot. But yeah, so this is the federalhockey.com. And we'll do some more digging in that and give you guys an update on that later. So, but yeah, let's go back into your. So, do you have anything else on this? This is your top five for the FPHL.
That's my stand on that. I feel like it might change once we go to some games.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited to see this league because are these guys that have any potential of making it to like an AHL or NHL? Probably not. Maybe an ECHL.
Maybe
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe OHL. From what I was seeing, at least for Motor City, granted they're close, so I see a lot more social media stuff on them. They're having like open tryouts and stuff for like just for anybody to go to. So I can't say a beer league, but definitely a lower league than really any of the ECHLs or OHLs. I feel like more of those are drafts and stuff. This is just who likes hockey and who can skate well is kind of my outside opinion on that. Yeah,
I agree.
Yep, that's all I got on that. Let's see. You want to go to your teams?
Yeah, I'll go into my team. So for the FPHL, this is one of the maps that I saw. This map, I actually found this one on Google, so this one was not. I didn't see this on their website, but you can kind of gives you an idea where some of the teams are located throughout this league. With this being such a small league, uh, they're kind of spread out for what they are. It's showing on their website. Only 10 teams. So, but I just thought this was kind of cool. Just kind of show you where stuff's at. Over here where you see where the Prowlers are at, they're right on the edge there, right next to Canada. But we're only like a 2-hour drive. I'm in the Thumb. He's kind of on the outskirts of the Thumb. Just kind of put little things in more perspective for you where we're coming from. So the teams I chose, Columbus River Dragons, which when I was first doing the research for this, going back to the map real quick, I thought the Columbus River Dragons would actually be in Columbus, Ohio, but they're actually in Columbus, Georgia. So it was actually kind of surprising to see that. I'm like, oh, cool. We have another team that's not quite so far away.
Right.
But then doing more research, finding out they're a few more hours down the road. But still, I thought like this was kind of a cool logo and everything. And just the River Dragons. Never heard of a team called the River Dragons before. If you have, drop it below. But yeah, the River Dragons. That was kind of interesting.
That would be something that we would do, is not like look into it and be like, hey, you want to go to Columbus to a hockey game? Yeah. And then we go to leave, throw it in the GPS and be like, what? 16 hours.
Like, wait a minute. I think Siri, I think you're wrong. I think you need to check that again.
Yeah.
That would not be good. Next up is the Watertown Wolves out in New York. And there's actually quite a bit of hockey out by there, and some of these teams I chose strategically because like if I go out and see like the Utica Comets or something like that, these guys aren't too far away, or so it's like it's easy to like kind of build like a solid trip around some of these teams. And I had Motor City Rockers on my list as well, just to try to knock them out this year, and then Port Huron Prowlers. But then the last team that I had would kind of surprise you. It's the Mississippi Sea Wolves. I just think that this is a really cool logo. I've never seen the Mississippi River, which I don't know how close this is to the Mississippi River or if it's just somewhere in Mississippi. It wasn't on that other map, so it's a newer team. But I don't think I've really spent much time in Mississippi or anything. So I thought maybe being the Sea Wolves, I wasn't sure if that was where they were located. I'll do a little more research in that, but yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. It's like the Sea Wolves, another team name that I hadn't heard of before.
Do you see the hook as his hand? Did you see that?
I did not notice that. So he's like a sea wolf part pirate guy.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I dig it even more now.
To our logos.
Yeah, there's a lot of hidden stuff in logos.
These little Easter eggs. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that a lot. That is neat. I like it when they do stuff like that. So yeah, those are our picks for our top 5 teams that we want to see for the FPHL. For the FPHL, choosing 5 teams like that was 50% of the league. Right. That they're showing right now on the website. So
right.
If we see those 5 teams, we can say, yeah, we've seen 50% of the FPHL. And how many teams is it? 10, but we've seen half of them.
Yeah.
So that works. So next up, we have the ECHL, which is the East Coast Hockey League. I talked about this in the last episode. So it goes NHL, AHL, then the ECHL. So for those of you, like for us, it's Detroit Red Wings, Grand Rapids Griffins, then it goes down to the Toledo Walleye. So this would be the league that the Toledo Walleye is in. And before Mark jumps into his picks, I wanted to show you guys a map brought to you by sportsleaguesmap.com, one of my favorite resources for looking up, seeing where different hockey teams are. I'm not sure who actually runs this site, but they tend to update it fairly often. You can go to different parts. It's got like a lot of links where you can actually go to like the team pages in most parts and look up the teams and stuff. He's got it all linked there. Does different leagues, basketball, baseball, even NASCAR, I think, is on there now. And then you can also search by state. There's a really cool map. We'll go into that more in depth later on in a different episode. But this just kind of gives you an idea where a lot of these teams are. East Coast Hockey League, obviously, a lot of them are in the East Coast. There's a few kind of way out here. Idaho is the furthest team west, and then so it gets really sparse once you get past Kansas and Oklahoma. There's just the 3 teams from there, but it's still a really cool league. It's a really competitive league, and they play for the Kelly Cup is what they compete for all season long. So, all right, Mark, if you want to jump into your picks for your ECHL teams.
All right, ECHL teams to see. Let's change some banners here. All right. At number 1, I have Toledo Walleye. That's because they're close, and the first time that I went to a game, it was a great experience. I mean, we talked about it a little bit in the last stream. It's something about their atmosphere. I don't think I would ever really take them off my list. They're a good team. And then Savannah Ghost Pirates, also a new team to the ECHL this year. They didn't play like this last season, but they're going to this upcoming season. What did you say? They're the affiliate for Las Vegas.
Las Vegas, yep. So it's the Golden Knights, Silver Knights, and then the Ghost Pirates. So
yep. Silver Knights is their AHL, right?
Yep, and they're located in Henderson, so which is not very far. I know for a fact, I think it's under 2 hours from Vegas. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah.
Gotcha. And then I have Iceman on here. I don't know too much about them, but I do know that their names popped up this last season quite a bit. So I feel like that would probably be a good game to go to. Not must-see teams, kind of just teams that I would think would be cool to see. And then I have the Comets because they're close. It's a good possibility to go and see them one of these days.
Yep.
And then Orlando, that team just pops up all the time, like wherever you look. I don't know if it's like just a logo and like that just catches people's eye, like thinking of maybe like Coca-Cola or something.
It's an iconic team, and they were actually part of the IHL, which the Vipers played in, and the jersey I'm wearing tonight is actually from that era before they switched to
that's their logo.
ECHL. Yeah, this was their old logo that they had before. So
I gotta say, I like their new logo better. Let me see. Show me the jersey.
You know, I don't know. Vote in the comments. Which you like better, the newer ECHL Solar Bears logo that's on the screen right now, or the one that's on my jersey?
Yeah.
So yeah, I did think that their jerseys were cool when I was down there because they did have a purple like alternate that was really cool, and I was going to buy it, but they did not have my size, and they said they had a hard time getting stuff in, which a lot of arenas that I went to, some of them were having a hard time.
That was this last season?
Yeah, this last season. It would have been last January, and they said they just didn't know when they were going to get them in with the whole supply chain crap going on. So, but yeah, they're really cool jerseys, and I think they were like, I want to say they were like 160, 180. They weren't bad, but they were all like had all the patches and everything. So it was definitely a solid jersey to get, but they just didn't have my size.
Gotcha.
So, all right, I'm loading up. Did you want me to go next into my picks?
Yeah.
All right, let's do this. So my top 5 ECHL teams. Now, with the list that I compiled, these are all teams that I have not seen yet that I would like to go see for the ECHL. Starting off, the Norfolk Admirals. The reason why I put the Norfolk Admirals on this list is because I have one of my good friends from college actually lives out near Norfolk, Virginia, and they have a really cool arena. It's like a round shape, it's almost like a complete circle. It's really weird. I should have brought up a picture for that. But when we talk about arenas in a later episode, I'll definitely show that. But yeah, with him being over there, DC's not too far away from there, so you could definitely string it along with some other teams, and I think it'd be really cool to go and experience a hockey game with my buddy Ethan out there. So that's why I put these guys on the list. Fort Wayne Comets, like Mark said, they're a close team. My uncle and one of my best friends actually lives in Fort Wayne. It just didn't work out last year with scheduling and stuff like that to go down to a game with my buddy's work schedule and stuff like that. He works weekends, so it's really difficult, and they didn't really have too many games during the week that worked out with his schedule. So we're hoping to next year, whether or not he can or not, I'm sure Mark and I will head down there at some point and catch a Comets game. Next up is the Swamp Rabbits. I've always liked this logo and team ever since I discovered them probably about a couple of years ago. And I just thought it'd be really cool to go this, and it's, you'll see later, but like, yeah, I just think it's a really cool concept. The Swamp Rabbits, and
look at that. Look at this. All right, so we pointed out, I don't know if that was the last stream or on just a side conversation about the excuse me, the hockey stick, about how it's a carrot. Did you see the R at the bottom?
Yeah, with the little
little hockey stick. I never noticed that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
We should maybe on one of the later streams we'll maybe point out all the little like Easter eggs. We'll try and find all the Easter eggs for everybody watching and show you. It's kind of cool.
I'm writing it down right now.
All right, Tyler's writing that down for all you guys.
Yeah, writing that down so we can find some cool stuff for you guys and logos. And this would be really cool too, because Mark and I were actually talking about this, about when we go to see the Savannah Ghost Pirates at some point. They're kind of in between Savannah and Atlanta, where we'd probably be flying in if we went and saw the Gladiators or something like that. So there is a high probability, if we do go down to see the Savannah Ghost Pirates at some point, that you'll get some content from us on these guys as well. Next up is the Newfoundland Growlers.
Okay, I did not see this one coming up.
Now this one. Now I'm gonna have to go back. We're gonna have to go back to the map here for a second. Let me get this loaded up. Okay, so I'm gonna pull this up. The reason why I chose this team, because I felt like, if you're going to go see ECHL teams, I feel like that this is one of the hardest teams to get to see. Because, okay, so you're looking at the map right now, okay? You see everything?
Is there a way to zoom in?
Where's Newfoundland in this shot? You have to back out, and look, they're way out here.
I was telling you to zoom in. I was like, can you zoom in? I can't see them.
Look at this. Look at you have to fly into the island.
Oh my goodness.
Look at that. Wow.
That is something else.
They are like way out in left field. Like, I thought, like, okay, like if you can say you went and seen the Newfoundland Growlers,
right?
They're in the full screen there. You can kind of see we're here in Michigan, where the hand is, in comparison to where they're at. I mean, it's a 7-hour, 8-hour drive from where we're at to Ottawa. But like, I don't know what you would do if you go over to PEI in Prince Edward Island and come over here and hop a boat and then go over. I don't know. Yeah. I'm sure there's a way to fly, but I'm sure it would definitely be expensive to do something like that. But yeah, they're way, way out there. But I just thought, like, hey, that would be really cool to go and like try to see these guys and say, hey, I went and saw the Newfoundland Growlers, because that would be like, you'd only go there once. Like, you wouldn't. The chances of you going there again would be like slim to none.
Yeah, I wonder. I wonder what the atmosphere is like there.
You know what? I really like to go to like that part of Canada and check it out, because I have heard some good things about the hockey being good. Because my buddy Dave, who lives in Fort Wayne now, he actually went to college out near Moncton, and so he actually went to the Moncton, I think it's the Wildcats, a game out there. And then he's actually been to St. John's, where the Memorial Cup was held. So Yeah, he said that the atmosphere out there was pretty good, and I mean this is a little bit further out. I don't know how many people are in that area, but Newfoundland actually played. I think they were playing the Florida Everblades in the Eastern Conference Finals of the Kelly Cup. So that was quite the travel for them. So, but yeah, that was really cool. That's why I have them on there, because just the chances of you going up there and seeing them, and how many people out there have a puck in their puck collection that they actually got in Newfoundland when they went to a game.
That would
the
be
chances
something.
of that actually happening are like, there's probably not many guys, to be perfectly honest. If you're out there,
I mean, if you're not from near there from the island, honestly,
I would. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna add this to the list,
to the bucket list for everybody.
What I'm gonna do is, all right, okay, I'm going to go on between now and the next episode that we do. I'm going to try to figure out how long it takes to get out there and how much it would cost for you round trip and to stay out there, and the average cost of a game if you just went out there and did that. And I don't know if there's any other teams in the area. We can look at that as well. But I would be really curious. Do you think, Mark, right off the bat, do you think that this would cost you more or less than $1,000 to go out there and see a game at this arena, with travel expenses and staying at least expenses, one, maybe two, like everything from buying a puck to your airfare, all that? Do you think it would be plus or minus $1,000 if you just?
I feel like 1,000 is pushing it.
You think 1,000 is pushing? You think it'd be less than 1,000?
I think it'd be less than. I honestly think it would probably be. I would say around the 600 mark.
Okay.
What are you thinking?
I would, I think that's a good guess, to be honest. I think, I'm going to tell you this. I don't think it's any more than 5. I think it's more than 5, but less than 1,000.
Yeah.
I don't think with the I think you're like my buddy Jose and I are going to Orlando next week, and our plane ticket to go down there, and this is still in the U.S., our plane ticket to go down there was $250 round trip. And we're gone for 4 days. So, but I don't know, because I know when my buddy Dave went out, when he was flying back from school, he'd have to drive an hour to Moncton, fly out of Moncton, and then he would have to get a plane in Toronto, then take another train or plane from Toronto to either Sarnia, or he could go into Detroit, but it was closer for him to go to Sarnia. But I think that was actually pretty expensive for him to do that. So I really don't know. So, because it's not like you can like take a train out there or anything, because it's on a stinking island. So we're going to look into that for you guys and have like a little segment next episode, if we can get it all figured out, and break down, if you were to go see a team like this, how much would you be paying? So, yeah. All right, let's move on. I think, are we moving on? Yeah. Okay. So Florida, the team that they played and lost to, who the Florida Everblades actually ended up winning the Kelly Cup this year, beat the Toledo Walleye, unfortunately. But I would really like to go and see these guys. They're by Fort Myers, Florida, I believe. So I've seen a couple of teams in Florida. I've seen the Solar Bears and the Lightning, and there's still a few more that I have to see. And these are, of all the teams that are left to see in Florida, I would actually have to say I'd probably like to go and see these guys play, even probably over the Panthers. I don't know. It's kind of a toss-up at that point.
I'd probably say Everblades.
Yeah, I like there's some jerseys that they've had, like even some alternates that were like pretty sick. So we'll discuss those more a little later on. And then I feel like I threw in more teams for this.
Tyler.
Yeah, I did. I threw these guys in because we just been talking about, but the other 5, this is number 6. So I was like, well, I knew you were going to talk about these guys. So I was like, I'll come up with like a different 5, but then I still wanted to have these guys on the list. So yeah, it is what it is. But so those are our, you went over yours. I thought you had a pretty good list there. I thought it was cool. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's the arena. Isn't that cool? Like,
and then this is like the inside.
Yeah,
That's cool.
that is really sweet.
I looked that up for you while you were
Well,
talking.
thank you. I
That's
appreciate that, sir.
that is a cool arena. I can see why you were saying that.
Yeah, it is neat, and it's actually like more. Yeah, you can see in that other picture. So see where the main photo is, and you go the two below it in the middle. You can see it's like near. It's like in a
Which one?
downtown setting. You have to go back.
This one?
Yeah, that one. So you can see like it's like packed right there in town. So it's just it kind of just looks like it doesn't belong. Like the way it is and stuff. I
Right.
don't know.
It's cool. It's definitely unique.
Yeah, we'll go over that more when we get into our arena rankings and stuff like that down the road. But yeah, so those are our lists. Those are the top 5 teams of the ECHL and FPHL that we want to see. Hopefully, we can come back to you guys during or after next season and tell you that we were able to see that. And I think there's probably some people out there that are probably going to want us to challenge us to go out to Newfoundland. So if you want to see that, drop it below, and I'm up for a good challenge. You know I am, Mark.
Yeah, I know, and you'll talk me into it too.
Yep, we'll both go.
I mean, you kind of already have me talked into it, so
we'll take you guys along. That would be that, because I don't know, like that's, yeah. We talked enough about it. We'll talk more about it later when we get the breakdown of the costs and stuff like that. So all right, next up, your top FPHL jerseys. Now these, basically what we've done with these lists is are the top teams that we would just like to have a jersey of. These aren't, I don't think you did it. I didn't do it, but like these aren't like for like certain players and stuff like that. We'll probably do separate lists later of like maybe just like a few of the top leagues, like maybe like the NHL will probably do this for, which will be like, hey, there's a top jerseys you'd like to have, but then there's also top player jerseys, because you might not necessarily care too much for the team, but you really like the player, a certain player that's on a team, so that could probably change things a little bit. But go ahead, Mark, dive into your top 3 FPHL jerseys that you would like to have.
All right, so I have the Prowlers at number 1. I like this alternate. Jersey of theirs, and I think I'm going
to camo.
Yeah,
it's like a digital camo. That's really cool.
It's cool. It's kind of like the only alternate I could find when I was looking them up. I don't know. It's something about alternate jerseys. I feel like if I got one with like the lower of like OHL or FPHL or ECHL, I feel like I'm gonna go to an alternate jersey. My only issue with that is usually when they do the alternates, it's only for like the players, like as they're playing, and those are gonna be like larges, extra larges, and I wear a medium, so it's gonna be hard for me to get an alternate jersey of a team.
Yeah.
And then I threw on here a sweater because I didn't really care for the Thunder's jerseys. They were all right, but I think if I went to a game, it wouldn't be a jersey that I would get from there. Reasons to be, I mean, if I went to a game, I would probably only be going to one game, honestly, my whole life, maybe a couple if for some reason I'm down that way. But if I got a jersey, it would kind of just be a jersey that would stay in the closet. I'd wear it on the stream. So I think I'd rather get a sweater. I would get more use out of that.
Yeah, fair enough.
And then I got the icebreakers. I like that logo, and I think that logo
looks cool.
It looks bad on a jersey. That's why I picked them.
I like that shade of blue that they use for that. I think it goes well, and the words on it aren't too overpowering. And where are they from? I can't quite read it on the. I already closed out that one thing.
Bring up our map.
Well, I closed out the other one. That's all right. Well,
they were somewhere south. I want to say they were down by like Florida somewhere.
Something, yeah. But yeah, that's really cool jersey.
That's also another one. I mean, would I get a jersey or would I get a sweater? It's I don't know. And then with the Thunder, I wish they had more hockey stuff on that, like on that jersey, because right now it kind of looks like a Viking on a hoodie. I think like the little things on the shoulder, they should have did like hockey sticks or something, because that just looks like an axe and a hammer.
Yeah, I just went over to that federalhockey.com and looked at the teams. It's not actually showing those guys on there anymore.
Why am I
So
getting
they might have moved to a different league.
outdated stuff?
You're getting all this. Yeah, you must like was using like an old browser or something. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're not on here.
Huh.
So yeah, I don't know if they're because
Must be defunct.
Well, and some of the stuff we were going on, like some of these teams lasted like one season and then they moved them already. So I think the FPHL, to be perfectly honest, guys, is just one of those leagues that's really new. There's only 10 teams, so they're still trying to get everything sorted out. So teams are constantly moving around and this and that. So
trying to see what sticks.
Yeah, so it's still trying to get figured out. So before you try to schedule something to one of these games, I would definitely go and check out their website to make sure that they're still a team. Federalhockey.com.
Yeah. All right, let's see what your jerseys are.
All right, top 3 FPHL jerseys, and number 1, and these are in no particular order. The Seawolves. I didn't find one that had that like newer logo on it, unfortunately, because I would really like to see that on a jersey, but I'd settle for this one. I think it's a really cool jersey. And next up was so I found this off their website. So the hat tricks, and the one that I like the best is this first one, the black alternate. I think they're all kind of cool, where the one just says tricks and stuff like that. But I just like that sinister looking rabbit. Yeah, I just think he looks really cool, and I have seen ones where they took the hat tricks part off and it's just the rabbit. But I think that's a really cool look for these guys.
Yeah, I think more of like the middle one or that one that says tricks would be like if you reoccurringly like went to games to where people would understand. Season ticket holder type guy, would understand it more. But just wearing like a D coming out of a hat, I don't think people would really understand that. Or one that says tricks. I do like that first one though with you too.
Yeah, and one of the things that I was running into when I was trying to put together this list was some of these teams. I was going to their team shop to see what jerseys they offered, but a lot of them have already sold out, so they don't have any more jerseys left. So they took them all off their website.
Oh,
no, some of the other leagues, like you're looking at the NHL and stuff like that, you know, they probably would still have jerseys on there, obviously. But like these other lower teams, like a lot of times you get these right from the people at the arena. They're the ones shipping them out and stuff. So if they're out of jerseys, they're out of jerseys. Like when Mark and I were going to Flint, we wanted the away or the home jersey for them. We couldn't get it because they were just sold out, and they were sold out way before the playoffs. So they're like, we won't get any more until next year. So I was like, crap, I really want a Firebirds jersey. But so that didn't work out for us. Next up is the Prowlers. So I'm not sure when they actually offered these jerseys, but I was able to find the red and the black variant. To be perfectly honest, like if we go to the game and they have one of these jerseys there, I think I would probably get these. The other thing too that we don't know is I don't think they actually have, correct me if I'm wrong, but have they released the Motor City Rockers jerseys, what they're going to look like yet? I haven't seen anything.
No, I looked when I was doing my research, and I didn't see anything besides what they were like practicing in.
Okay.
And even what they were practicing in, it wasn't something that I'd want to buy, honestly. Yeah. I think even though they're a close team, I think it would be more of like a sweater or a shirt or something from them.
Yeah. I don't know. These jerseys I think are really cool.
Yeah, I do like theirs.
I've actually had like not necessarily like a hard time, but like a lot of times when I've gone to games, like you're getting a puck, obviously. But in all the games that I've been to in my whole hockey going career, I have only bought one jersey the whole time that I've gone, and that was a Sarnia Sting jersey just before the lockdowns, I think. And other than that, of all the other jerseys that I've seen at different regions, a few I definitely regret not getting. but at the same time too, it's like, you know, it's definitely tough with the whole jersey thing, but like a lot of them I've gotten t-shirts from. So like that way when I can come back, I do my videos or whatever. And it is always nice to have a few different teams from the same league. If you're going to go watch a new team and you're like, oh, they're actually playing a team that I already have a shirt or something from, so I can wear that and be that guy who's the like 10 visitors that are there in that arena for that night.
And then still cheering for the home team?
Maybe not.
Maybe
Most
not.
likely
Let's see.
I mean, there's times where it's like I'll go to, like I actually like going to arenas and being a visiting fan. You know, Cody will attest to that too. We do that a lot. We troll, and so I feel like it's more fun that way. And I feel like a lot of times when I've gone to games and I'm part of the away crowd, like you just seem more tight knit with those guys. They're always like, "Yeah, man," like doing high fives and stuff with you. It's like, I don't know who you are, but like we're wearing the same jersey. But
right,
you know, it's just kind of cool. It's a lot of fun, but it's just not when you get beer spilt on you by a Penguins fan. I don't like you Penguins fans, especially the ones in the upper bowl.
Upper bowl
fans. Lower bowl guys, you have some class. Upper bowl, you're drinking a little too much, guys. Just back it off a little bit.
We're gonna have to make that a thing that you say at every stream.
Yeah, bashing the Pittsburgh
upper bowl,
the upper bowl of Pittsburgh Penguins guys. Yeah, I can do that. I have no shame. So, all right, Mark. So you got your ECHL jerseys loaded up. Let's see what you got.
All right,
man.
Number one, I'm gonna keep hitting that is Toledo Walleye. I should have got a jersey when I went. It's a cool jersey, nonetheless.
They had a few.
I know, and I should have got one.
Did you see the one with the two like cross like fishing hooks like that? That were on like
yeah.
I will say this: the Toledo Walleye of any team that I have been to that is not the NHL. Okay, they have the best selection of pucks, jerseys, merch of any team that I have been to. They have a really nice, I think they call it the Swamp Shop or something along those lines.
But one's the tackle box, and then
this is the one, the Swamp Shop, I think. Something. But yeah, they do their merch right. Okay, a lot of teams could learn something off that. And if you look, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this, but on the jersey there in the middle, those are actually fins on the
I see
shoulder patches. So that was when I said earlier that one of the jerseys that I regret not buying, that is one of the top. So I'm guessing that some point next year, Mark, you and I are going to just be like, hey, let's go to a Walleye game. We got some free time. I'm getting a jersey.
Yeah.
We're both going to get jerseys, okay? So, enough said. All right, go on.
Throw it on the list. We'll get it done.
On the list.
Everybody will be watching for the reaction video.
And you guys in the comments, hold us to it, okay? Hold us to it.
All right, and then I got Swamp Rabbits on there.
Yep.
I like their jerseys. I think there was an alternate that was like a dark blue. It was a kind of toss up between those. But out of jerseys, and see, I even said earlier, if it's a faraway team, how often am I going to wear it? That's a jersey that I would get. I would get that jersey. I'd let it sit in the closet. I'd bring it out. I'd show it off. It's just a cool jersey altogether.
Because I think if we wore those and the Swamp Rabbits were playing in Toledo, we'd probably be the only two there with Swamp Rabbits jerseys, to be honest. Because that is a sea of blue. When a Walleye game is a sea of blue. It's awesome.
They chirp a lot. Like the guy that was next to me, he was chirping away. I don't know if I'd want to sit next to that guy. We might run into a Penguins upper bowl issue again.
Oh no. The Penguins upper bowl. I'm having flashbacks.
But I have the Ghost Pirates on there too. If you can't tell, it's a hat and a sweater. I like their logo. I don't think that it's something I get a jersey. See, I have mixed opinions on everything. I know.
You're gonna have to wait till you get to my list.
All right, and then I I was looking online. I almost ordered a hat offline
Oh shoot!
to have it and just wear it. Uh, you can really wear a hat anywhere. Just to have it and then to wear it down whenever we decide to make our journey to Savannah.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool just to have a hat pre-ready. So I was tempted to. I didn't hit buy in the cart yet. I kind of just waiting on that one.
Still in the cart.
Yeah, I think so. unless it tossed it and dumped my cart out.
Some willpower. Is it like one of those instances where you're hungry and you go and open up the fridge, and they say every time you open up the fridge, your expectations or your standards, they just keep going lower and lower until you just end up grabbing something like,
yeah,
and there's nothing to eat. I'll just eat this stick of butter, and you're sitting there.
Oh my goodness,
a stick of butter. That would be awful.
That's my ECHL jerseys.
All right, well, let's jump into mine, if you don't mind.
Let's see.
Top 3 ECHL jerseys. Number 1, these are in no particular order, but the Florida Everblades. They have some really cool jerseys, and this one was actually on auction, and as you can see, it's got the Kelly Cup logo patch on it. This was actually worn by one of the players, so I think it was like in the $400 to $500 range when I saw it. It still had a few days left. Not sure what it's going to end up at, but I just think that these jerseys are really cool. And someday, I feel like this is one of the teams that, like, I don't want to say, like, right now, like, oh, I'll go and buy one because then I'll probably end up, like, not. But, like, I really do want to just end up getting one of these. I just think they're really cool. Like, they have a couple alternates that are really nice as well. Next up is the Indy Fuel. Now, I'm not sure how many other teams do this, but I really like how they incorporated on this jersey the Rockford Ice Hogs patch for their AHL affiliate, and then they also have the patch affiliate for the Blackhawks. Yeah. So I thought that was really cool, and I just something about the Indy Fuel logo. I mean, it's there's nothing too crazy about it, but I don't know. I just think that this just flows. Like, this is just a nice, solid-looking jersey, and I just like how it has the other patches on it. So
weird enough, I almost threw that on my list.
Really?
One, yeah, just 'cause I thought it was cool too. It's something about that. It's welcoming.
Yeah, it's just neat. I saw them play when I went to go see the Kalamazoo Wings because he's and they that is their regular jersey that they have where it does have those dual patches on there. So I just thought that was really cool. And that was the first time I probably had seen it before, but in current times that I remember seeing one that had the affiliate patches on there. So it was just really neat. And then next up, I did have the Swamp Rabbits on here.
Nice.
And this is a few other alternates that they have.
I like that. I like that first one.
That were on their website, and they too were sold out of jerseys. There was no jerseys left on their site, so I don't know which one of these will be available for next year. But yeah, and then that was 3. And I actually wrote this in my notes, and the reason why I did not throw the Ghost Pirates on here, because after doing some research, you'll see here in a second, these are jersey concepts. So they're not 100% sure, or I haven't seen anything that has actually shown exactly what the jersey is going to look like for next year. So these are like looks like some submissions by people for jerseys, I would think. I don't know if these names are for something else, but really cool. And I like the green one. Like, that's pretty, you don't really see green jerseys like that. The one that has the state of the outline of state of Georgia on there, SAV, and then they have the white variants.
I like that white. That's cool.
Yeah, so there's some
that
really
left one's bad.
There's some really, and I like how if you look in the bands on the one on the right, how it has the little ghost silhouettes in there, and they did have that on the first one here in the green. So the reason, like I said, the reason why I didn't add these to my list is, as you can see on some of these pictures, it says home jersey concept. So it's not definitive as to what they're actually going to look like, but I'm guessing that this first one by Marley Kingston is probably going to be pretty darn close as to what the jerseys are going to look like, but they have some really cool color schemes to work with, and I'm really excited to see
What
what's
they
going
do,
to happen
yeah.
with them. Yeah. So that rounds off our picks for our top jerseys that we would like to get for the FPHL and the ECHL. So if you have any, comments on what we picked or whatever, or you want to list off in the comments what you would have picked for those, feel free to drop those below, or even message us on Instagram at PuckMyLife, and you can see there on the ticker. Don't forget to go over there and follow us, and then also hit the subscribe button here on YouTube, notification bell, so you can be informed when we are dropping new content. So we're starting a new part of the podcast, and that is question of the week. Now, Mark does not know what this question is.
I tried to get him to tell me,
and I wouldn't tell him. So I'm like, it's not anything stats or whatever. Because one thing we will say about this show is that we just love hockey. To be perfectly honest, we could care less about the stats. Okay. Mark and I, we love to travel. We love to go see these new arenas. It's the experience and seeing new hockey teams, the fans, everything associated with that. If they have any cool, unique food, any cool, unique merchandise or whatever, we love the whole hockey experience. And so we're not really big into stats and stuff like that. I mean, I really don't know a ton of players' names, to be perfectly honest. I know some, like when I was playing like video games back in the day, like more guys from like the 90s and stuff like that. But like, to be perfectly honest, we don't really care too much about the stats. We care if our teams are winning and going to the playoffs.
Yeah.
But that's about the extent of it, I would have to say. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. Yeah. We're just two guys that love hockey and like talking hockey, and hopefully some people want to join us.
Yep. Hold on. I just had something that came out. Okay.
I'm leery on what this question.
Okay, you ready for the question?
Yeah.
All right. The question is, how much would you pay to go see a Stanley Cup final game? Now, this is a two-parter, and I'll go over the two parts here. First part is, how much would you be willing to pay if it was your team in the finals, and how much would you pay if you just found out that it was cheap to go, or on the cheaper side, I should say, to go to a game? How much you'd be willing to go to, like if you were to go to like the last Stanley Cup final, Tampa Bay and the Avalanche?
Do I have to travel there?
You have to travel. It's a whole thing. Like, how much are you willing to pay at least for your ticket? Because, with the Super Bowl and stuff like that, tickets are just it's crazy town out there.
Dude,
okay,
they were outrageous for the Stanley Cup Finals. People were reselling their tickets for like $3,000.
Well, some of those I did see, but the reason why I say that is because with football, Super Bowl, there's one game. Okay, Stanley Cup Finals, you're guaranteed at least 4 opportunities to go see this. So, based off that, I know things would be a little bit different the further you get into a cup final, especially if it's an elimination game where the team will get awarded the cup. But we're looking at like a game 1 scenario, a guaranteed game and everything. How much would you be willing to pay for something like that?
Man, I feel like if it was Detroit, I would pay.
Because obviously with Detroit, I mean, you could drive down and back in one day, so there's no.
It's a Stanley Cup final.
Stanley Cup final, game 1.
For like middle of lower bowl is like where I would go. That's where I would sit. I would probably pay $400.
Okay.
It's a Stanley Cup final. That's a lot to me. I mean, that's a lot of money for a game. But you got to think it's a Stanley Cup final.
Yep.
It's the Wings. Like they always put on a show if they're in the Stanley Cup. At least from when I was little. Let's bring up all those slides. I mean, it's just something of that atmosphere. It'd kind of be nostalgic in a way.
Yeah.
So I think that's what I would pay. 400 could maybe push me to 5. Now, that being said, I'm also a Minnesota Wilds fan. So that's going to be more travel for me to go over there. We're talking probably at least 2, maybe 300 in airfare.
Yep.
We could probably do 200 driving. Who knows with gas prices? Let's see where that goes. I'm sorry, the Wild, but I'd probably only pay 300 tops, absolute tops, and that's like pushing it.
Okay. Yeah, I hear you on that one.
Like, because you got to think 300 and then another 200 to 300 in travel. Like, 300 is honestly pushing it. But I mean, if you look at NHL tickets nowadays, you're paying that just to go to a regular game. So it'd be hard to see me at a Stanley Cup final, honestly.
Okay. Well, I have something that'll kind of blow your mind a little bit, okay?
Okay.
Do you have any idea how much a couple of tickets were going for on Vivid Seats, which Vivid Seats is what we use. Like, I use Vivid Seats a lot. I feel like it's one of the better ones out there. But take a guess at how much you could have got per ticket if you would have bought 2 tickets to go to see Tampa the last game on Sunday. I looked at how much tickets were going for that day. I took a screenshot. It's on the next slide. But how much you thinking that you could have actually got in to see that game, which it was an elimination game. The cup was in the house. How much you think it was? And this was like prior, within like an hour.
Guess, dude. Within
an hour of the game starting. Okay.
I couldn't guess that. Like all right, is it a resale seat or is it a seat selling from the stadium or from the arena?
It's a resale seat that was on Vivid Seats before the game started, about within an hour at least of the game starting.
I couldn't tell you, dude. I have absolutely no guess because it could be anywhere.
Okay, I'll narrow it down for you. Plus or minus $500.
Plus
$209.
No way. Dude, those aren't seats. Somebody's scamming you on Vivid. That's not possible.
I saw this.
That was somebody selling a ticket and you weren't getting that ticket. There's no way.
Hey, these were verified tickets. I've bought, when I actually went to Amalie Arena and got my tickets, and I actually sat, I think, in the section 313. I bought off Vivid, and
110 row, what's that? 5? Is that a 5? Oh, that's an S.
S, yeah, row S.
What?
That was on Sunday before the game. You could have gone, and there was 2 tickets available at the $209 price point. I checked it about 5 minutes later. All of these tickets that were in under $300 were all gone. So there was
you're saying
2, 6, 8 tickets that were under $300 before fees. It probably, with fees and stuff, would have probably put you at about $250 maybe.
So you're saying if the Detroit Red Wings go to Stanley Cup Finals to check Vivid an hour before, and we might be going to a Stanley Cup game?
Well, now, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying that this was to the point where, like I said earlier, it's like, how much would you pay to just go watch a Stanley Cup final game if your team wasn't in it? And if I would have known this ahead of time and was able to line up travel arrangements, unfortunately, I already had a prior commitment on Sunday, so I couldn't travel down there in that day. But this was tempting enough to where, with your flight down there and back, I mean, to go to a Stanley Cup game where the Stanley Cup was awarded, how many people, like, how many times you get an opportunity like that? And the cup was won that night, and dented in like the first 8 minutes, but
right.
but still, like, if I would have been like, if I would have known this like a week or 2 ahead of time and I could arrange the travel arrangements, I would have. This was awful tempting for me to spend like around $230 to $250 for a ticket to go down there, and there was 2 tickets available at that, so it would have been about $500 for 2 people to go. But still, like, that's. I mean, you're up in that one corner, that little blue spot in the upper left.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that, you know, I don't know. I just thought that was mind boggling to me when I looked at the prices for the Avalanche for Game 7. They were already over 1,000
Yeah,
because
I've
they
seen a
knew
couple at
100%
3.
that the cup would have been awarded at that time. Like, okay, if we get to Game 7, somebody's winning this thing after 3 periods,
Yeah,
or hopefully after 3 periods. But
yeah,
yeah, so I just thought that was kind of cool.
that is
Just
cool.
wanted to share that with you. But how many of you
Yeah,
guys down there in the comments would have gone to that game if you would have known that's what the prices were? Because some people think they kind of have the stigma like, oh yeah, the price is gonna be like over $1,000. It was like, you just gotta go on and look. You just, if everybody else thinks that and nobody's going on to buy all the
yeah,
tickets up, you could have scrolled down there. There was still more tickets available. You seen all the different sections. There wasn't a ton of sections on there, but it was like 10 sections
yeah.
that still had tickets. So, all right. So we're gonna move on to another segment, and we're calling this new addition to our collection. So anytime that we get anything hockey related that we're adding to our personal collections, whether it's jerseys, t-shirts, hats, pucks, sticks, what have you, we're not doing dirty jock straps. I don't collect those. I don't think Mark does. There's probably somebody out there that does, but we are
Yeah, not our thing. Not our
you
thing.
won't see that on this channel. So if you do, just if that's what you're looking for, just keep passing by, and then you'll find somebody that probably does.
Still give us a subscribe though.
Yeah, still give us a subscription to a subscribe. We want you to give us a subscribe.
Just a singular subscribe.
A singular subscribe. Yeah. But anyway, so Mark, did you have something ready? I got
I'll bring mine up
over here.
Yeah, I'll bring mine up.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You have yours on a slide. Mark currently does not have video.
I'm working on it.
He's working on it. So hopefully you're thinking by
give us like 2 streams. I would say towards the end of July I should have something.
Okay.
If I don't, everybody can yell at me.
This is something I got on eBay.
All right, I'll bring mine up.
Okay.
All right.
While you're doing that, I'm opening up my bag.
I have a couple new additions. When we were at the playoffs for the Firebirds, I already had a Firebirds puck, but I didn't have a Spitfires puck. And then I got their Western Conference Championship final puck that had the 2 logos on there. Super cool. I think I have a couple other pucks that have like the 2 logos. I think it's just cool puck altogether to have like an actual, it kind of be like a game day puck in a way, with the 2 logos on there. And then I got the Spitfires puck. I talked to a person online throughout one of the groups. They were going to the game over in Windsor, and I was like, hey, while you're over there, can you grab me a puck? And they were down for it. They grabbed me a puck. Apparently, I don't know if they only charged $5 for it over there in Windsor. That's all they wanted to charge me for it. So I gave them a 10. I gave them a little extra just as a thank you or whatnot. I mean, they didn't have to do that while they were over there, but they took their time to do that. So I gave them a little extra for it. I think that's probably my most expensive puck. My most expensive puck, since most pucks are $7 or $8. And then Tyler got me this Chicago Wolves puck when he went over to that game and brought it back. So the Wolves is actually my newest addition, but I had to throw these 2 pucks in there for the playoffs. That's, I don't know, it's not something that you not show off, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And I got a few more pucks that you can see my display is filling up, and there's a bunch above it too. I actually have to get another display. But a lot of those, the pucks I'm going to be going over when I do the game experience videos. But the newest thing that I got, or one of the newer things that I got to my collection, and this is part, actually, I'm going to change the screen up a little bit, Mark.
Okay.
I do something like this. Okay, here we go. We're just gonna.
We can't just do you in there.
Okay, yeah, we'll just do that for right now. So this is made by a company called Salem Sportswear. This came out in the 90s, made in USA. But I've been slowly collecting these shirts. You can see over here, there's a bunch of shirts and jerseys and stuff. And then I got other shirts and jerseys and stuff in tubs. There's actually another like there's another like stack of tubs next to that as well. But
Jerseys?
this is tubs and jerseys, or tubs and jerseys,
Tubs.
t-shirts and jerseys, and a
Right.
stack of tubs. But I really like these shirts that they did back in the 90s. Just like big logo prints and stuff like that. Has the
Yeah.
Western Conference patch on there, and then also on the back. They did a
Nice.
couple. They did two variants of these. One, this has got the V pattern, and there's another one where the bottom, where this part is more like level, and it's like more toward the bottom part of the shirt. But these are kind of going up in price, so I try to snipe them when I can on eBay, but they just seem like the prices just keep going up. More and more people are discovering them. I have a bunch of them over there, but whenever I can get these like around 15, 20, I'll pay 25 if it's a rare team. I think I paid around 20 shipped for this, and this is in really, really good condition. And I just like having shirts like this to sport around and stuff like that. They're kind of cool, and like I said, the prices keep going up, so actually it's turned out to be a good investment in some ways as well. So, but yeah, that wraps up that part, and I'm trying to think what else I got here in my notes. All right, a couple other things before we let you guys go for the rest of the night. We do like to say thank you for those of you that have actually stopped by and have listened to us talk for a while now. We're just over an hour, and we're gonna for next week's topic that we're gonna do the same thing that we did this time, but we're going to do the QMJHL, and we're going to do the OHL. I decided to choose the QMJ, and Mark chose the OHL. So we'll do our top 5 teams and jerseys for that league next time, which I'm not 100% sure exactly what the release date will be for that one. But stay tuned. We'll be posting that on our Instagram as to when that'll be dropping, and we'll send like a reminder out as well.
I would probably look for it on the 25th of July, everyone.
Okay. Yep. So 25th of July, you heard it from Mark. So any last words, Mark, before we wrap up episode 2?
No, I really enjoy doing this. I hope some more people come along and just notice that we're two guys that enjoy hockey, like talking hockey. Hopefully we get some people involved in the comments and talk to them about hockey. And what I'm thinking, as you were saying, next week's topic, I think for the following week we should do our collections, just so everybody can see how much into hockey we are. So
Okay.
not this upcoming week, the following week we'll show off our collections to everyone. Honestly, that would be the whole podcast probably with all your stuff and all my stuff. We could
that'd take forever. We might have to break that up or something, or just show off a piece at a time during the podcast. We'll figure something out and let you guys know, because I don't think you guys want to be here for a 7-hour podcast. And so yeah, we'll figure something out, because I mean, if you go over a lot of the different stuff from the pucks to the sticks and shirts, jerseys, hats, whatever, it could take a while. So maybe we'll do like a highlight, maybe some of our top 5 things that we have in our collection or something. We'll figure something out to where it's more user friendly for you guys. So
yeah.
But yeah, that about wraps everything up for this episode. Appreciate everybody who stopped in today. If you're not already, please go over, follow us on Instagram at PuckMyLife. Hit the subscribe button, notification bell, the like button, drop a comment, whatever you guys would like to do. Share this. That's probably one of the best things that you can do for us to support us, is to actually share this video with other people that you think that would enjoy this type of content. Like Mark said, we're just a couple of guys that really like hockey, and we just want to go over the different experiences that we had. And I think that there really is something that about hockey when you go around to different arenas and experience different things, as opposed to just being a season ticket holder, which in some ways that does sound somewhat appetizing, just to be like kind of like fully invested into one team.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it kind of sounds boring at the same time because you're just watching the same team over and over again.
You watch them grow though too.
You do watch them grow. So we do have
there's perks to both of it.
There definitely is. And for you and I, we definitely have interest in the Firebirds, the Spirit, and the Red Wings. So having those teams close, like if we can't make it out of town or out of state or even out of country for a game, it makes it a lot better just to at least have a few teams that are close by that we can kind of break things up a little bit. But it's not to say anything bad about season ticket holders. You latch onto a team, you invest time, money, and effort into watching them, blood, sweat, and tears, and there's just something about that. But for us, especially me, there's nothing that gets me amped up more than going to a new arena. I mean, when Jose and I about 2 weeks ago we went to that game in Chicago. I mean, we literally drove like 7-8 hours each way and went to the game, stayed over, and then just came back the next day just to go to one hockey game.
Yeah.
And I'd do it again. I love hockey that much. And last year there was a lot of missed opportunities with going to games. There was few that were canceled. There was, scheduling conflicts, whatever. It sucked, but this year I'm going to push through that and just try to do as much as I can. If you hadn't already, in the previous episode of this, Mark and I discussed the goals and our wish list of what we want to do next year. And we just want to get to the point where we're just going to go out and do it. There's life's too short. As you get older, a lot of people say that, your perspective changes, and it really does. And you really got to, find the ways that you really want to spend your time. And, I love being at home with my family and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I do love traveling. It's another big love that I have. And I don't really have too many other hobbies right now besides hockey. I mean, I kind of don't really play video games much anymore, if any. And just like, this is kind of what I do now. So I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to what the next season has for both myself and Mark. And I know, Mark, you're just about as excited, I think, as I am.
Right. Oh, yeah. We're already talking about trips and trying to figure it all out.
Yeah, I mean,
everybody can see from that heartfelt spill that you just gave. We love hockey. Join us in loving hockey. Yeah.
So I appreciate everybody who's here, whether it's one person or 100,000. We want to just share our life and our journey with hockey with you guys, and this is a way for us to kind of get through the lull of not having hockey, but to also kind of document what we're doing and just have fun at the same time. You got to, after COVID and being locked in our houses and stuff like that, you got to live a little. That's all I got to say. Anything else, Mark, before we end tonight's podcast?
Nope. Join us next week. Make sure you guys subscribe, hit that like button, share the video. We're going to be working on more socials and whatnot to keep you guys involved.
More stuff coming. So be ready. All right. Well, you guys have a great rest of your evening, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.